I think we had to start. Okay. So, it is a timeline. From the time period we've been studying. All this stuff is happening at the same time. All this reform and that we studied, okay, the Industrial Revolution, it's all happening at the same time. So we've been focusing on domestic issues. United States, you have domestic policy and you have what? And you have foreign policy. What's the difference?
Foreign is foreigners, so like immigrants.
Who's with me? Please get with me. Louis,
Oh, no, I said I was with you.
you know the difference?
No.
Who knows the difference? Deanna,
Foreign is all around the world, domestic is in one area,
what area?
like your country.
Okay, so this is in our country, this is outside our country. So we've been focusing on this, all the things that are happening in our country. This chapter is going to focus more on this. U.S. interests outside of our country. Now we know for most of our history, what was our foreign policy? One word.
Terror.
What governed our foreign policy for most of our history?
The Monroe Doctrine?
The Monroe Doctrine had this word though. The Monroe Doctrine is what ran it. Oh, what's the word?
Isolation isn't everything you need.
This means what? Joey,
Avoiding involvement in affairs.
put it in your own words.
To not do stuff about other countries' civil wars.
So, we're going to stay out of your business. Who's the "your" here?
The other countries.
The world, okay? We're going to stay out of your business if, what?
You stay out of ours.
You stay out of our business. We're going to see in this chapter, in this period of time, the U.S. begins to shift from this policy. Because the rest of the world wasn't really following this policy. And we saw some benefits that were happening. So if I was going to title this chapter, and I think I have on your notes and stuff, it would be these two things: imperialism and the Spanish-American War. If I was just going to do one word, it would be imperialism. Because the Spanish-American War really was fought because of imperialism. So we want to look at what imperialism is. What is it? Joey.
Conquering like different lands and like, or like conquering different lands and like.
So when one country takes over another country or area, that's imperialism. You know why some of you are doing so poorly on essays? Because when I'm giving you the information for the essays, you're what?
Wandering off.
Yeah, you're not writing it down? I'm saying some of you are. Do you do bad on the essays, Greta?
Yeah.
wanna see your chart?
Yes. What is a chart?
I think it's of the checks that we got this
Oh, I have
year.
a check in LA.
Ah.
What? I have a check in LA? Since
Right,
when?
I
That's
Child.
so cool.
Since when do I have a check?
I don't have
I've
any
completely got
checks.
this.
I don't have any
Spider,
checks. I
spider.
probably
Look
look
at these
fine.
two.
Girl, since when do I have a check in LA though?
This is, I'm about
When
to
you
pencil
left
this
to grab your dinner book.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
No, I never went to go get my dinner book. I like my dinner book.
Oh.
I spent it.
I should have used it.
Oh, look at it, almost matched up. Look at it.
Can I turn off the lights?
It's almost the same. Double vision.
Can I turn off the lights?
Is it help you? Does it help you or put you to sleep?
It helps me. And others also.
Now say hi.
So we already said imperialism is where one country takes over another country. Why do countries do that? Okay, the number one reason countries do it is the number one reason people do lots of stuff as well. Money. It's all about the money. Okay? So there are some economic benefits when you take over another country. One, obviously, is that these other countries have lots of natural resources. So if my country doesn't have natural resources, I can do what?
Get them, like.
Over here, Lewis has a lot of oil. I don't have any.
He has oil.
What am I gonna do?
Try to access this one.
You're mine now, Lewis.
Steal it.
Sorry about that. Now Lewis is part of my country, and I get what?
Oil.
I get his oil. Plus,
That sounds bad.
I'm gonna use the oil to make stuff. What do you use oil to make?
Food,
Yeah.
You'll find the oil.
Cars, gas, ethanol, which is in gas.
You know that this pen, this bottle here, that's made out of what?
Oil.
Oil. All the plastic stuff we have. Okay?
Oil.
So now I have all these new products. What can I do with them?
Sell it.
I can sell them. Who can I sell them to?
Other people, so they don't.
I can go back to Lewis's area that I conquered, and I took the oil from him, and I said, "Oh, here, Lewis, look at this cool stuff I made. I want you to do what?
Paper.
Buy it."
So you
That's what a market is. A place to sell what? A market is a place you sell your products. So you can go back and sell your products in the places you took over. So you get a double economic benefit. I get the raw materials they have, and then I can sell them back to them and make more money. It's a win-win. Well, what term would we have for that? That's a type of what? Remember that word? We don't like to say this as Americans.
Exploitation. Exploitation.
Exploitation.
Exploitism.
That means you do what?
Exploitation
If
is.
you exploit someone, you're doing what?
Ripping them off.
You're taking advantage of somebody for what reason?
Money.
A selfish reason. So that doesn't really fit the American ideal of, what's our ideal?
To be one.
We're the home of the free, right? This doesn't fit. Another reason, though, to take over areas is for defense.
So your tax would be.
One, I can have bases,
So your tax would be.
military bases. So let's say Bella is a big, strong country. And I'm a big, strong country. I'd like to keep an eye on Bella's. So I might want to take over an area that's what?
Next to her.
next to her so I could keep an eye on her. I might want to put a military base right here on Joey. Because then I could keep an eye on this other country that I might have a struggle with, okay? Another reason to do that besides having a base there would be to have a buffer country. So let's say Emily and Avery are two powerful countries that don't get along very well.
Oh, that makes sense.
And you got this weaker country between them.
Yeah, Greta. No, I'm joking.
One of them might want to take over this weaker country, so if this powerful country tries to come and attack them, they gotta what? They gotta go through this weaker country first. This weaker country is a buffer protecting the two powerful countries. Make sense? Okay? Okay, a third reason, which is kind of prejudicial, but it's also a Christian type of reason, okay, was called the white man's burden. What that means is it's our duty as white people to take over countries that are uncivilized and don't know about Jesus. So what? So we can teach them about Jesus and we can bring civilization to them. Because if we leave them by themselves, that's not a good thing. So this oftentimes was used as a justification when the real reasons are over here. Then the fourth reason some countries took over other countries was social Darwinism. Who's Darwin?
Darwin is a dead person.
The Amazing World of Gumball.
He's dead. That's important, right?
Charles Darwin wrote a book called The Origin of the Species. He went around the world and studied all different kinds of species of animals and plants.
Slated them.
And he came up with this theory called, that's where evolution comes from too. Okay, it's called survival of the fittest. So what he found out is that plants that are best suited for an area will do what? They'll grow and push out plants that aren't suited for it. Animals that are best suited will what? They'll take over and prosper in these areas where weaker animals won't. So that's what the theory is called, survival of the fittest, and it was applied to plants and animals. And then that's how we talked about evolution. That plants started, as one-celled beings, and then we all evolved and became big. But people then applied this to countries. Well, let's go back to this weak country again. Here's our weak country. If we're going to leave them, what's going to happen?
You're gonna die out.
It's going to die out anyway. So I should do what? I should take it over. That way he's going to survive. Because I'm the fittest, because I'm strong. See these guns?
There's mine better.
Wow. Yes.
I'm going to
Mine are better.
I'm truly sorry, Mr. Hill.
Now let's make a mark page and take a mark.
Can I go get some leftover pencil for this check?
There's some blood up there. In my little drawers up on the file cabinet.
That's a Barbie head in the drawer.
So all these reasons were reasons for countries taking over other countries. And we said the major one is what?
Economics.
The major one is economic. Now the United States, for most of our history, we said what? We really shouldn't do this, although we did. Where did we do it? Basically, we applied these where?
To the immigrants.
Remember this map?
Native Americans. Oh my god.
He's gonna watch the video and be like, what the?
We were first here and what? We took over this.
You can see
We took over all this.
Sing it.
But people would argue what?
It's not really.
These aren't really new countries, so we were just, and because people thought that God told us to, that's called what?
Mandate.
In China it's called that, what do we call it here?
Oh, wait.
What? Manifest.
Manifest destiny.
Okay? But in a way you could call this a type of imperialism. You can see how the white man's burden is a prejudice. But many people actually wanted to go into countries and help them. The problem is you can't do a double message. A double message is, oh, we're here to help you, and then you end up doing what?
Taking over.
Taking them over. Because if you're there to help them, you're not going to what?
Taking over.
You're not going to take them over. But throughout Europe, next year you're going to study Africa,
Oh, yay.
pretty much every single country of Africa except one. And even that one had a period during World War II of being controlled by European countries.
South Africa.
Why would the European countries want to be in Africa? Well, oil's one thing. Okay?
Gold.
Diamonds, gold, they have tons of natural resources in Africa.
Some of the pressures.
So this is the reason people were taking over other places. In the United States, seeing other countries do this, and as countries do that, what's happening to those countries? That take over other places.
They're growing stronger.
They're getting strong. So that's why the United States begins to wonder, maybe what? Maybe we should be part of doing this too. So in your planners, write this down. Read pages 692 to 696. And circle that big letter, because maybe I need to start doing the, because, you know, each reading section I have a what?
Review.
You know what I have with each reading section?
A quiz.
I have a quiz that's made from the book. I can just give you the,
Oh,
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. I can.
because every time I come in here and say, what did you guys, can tell me one thing that you read about, and I only have one person raising their